Hi guys, hope you all doing well. Welcome back to our channel, and in this video we are going to talk about Azure Information Protection Client and what will be the user experience. Now, if you're watching the series from the beginning, in the last video we have discussed about Azure Information Protection Policy, whereas the agenda of this video will be knowing how to install Azure Information Protection Client, how to check the different user experience when a user has been added to a global policy or if the user has been added to a scoped policy. And the last thing we'll talk about is to how to track and revoke documents. So let's now proceed and check what is a global policy that we have in our tenant right now and what will be the user experience. So as of now, there are only four labels which I have added to my global policy. That means any user that exists in my tenant gets the AIP client installed, has the AIP license, will get this particular label. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my machine where I will be installing AIP client. Now all you have to do is you have to search for AIP client. That's it. Click on the very first link and then click on download. Now, this is something which I have addressed in the second video as well, and that is there are two type of client types available. The first one is AIP Classic Client, and then you have AIP Unified Labeling Client. So since we are doing all the configuration on portal.azure.com, the client that you have to install is this one. Now for this demo, I have already downloaded this particular file and I'm just going to initiate the installation. Now, there is not even one single option that you have to choose or select or customize in terms of getting Azure Information Protection Client installed. It is that simple. Just to click. The first one is the acknowledgement that you are agreeing to terms and the conditions, and the other one is admin prompt. That's all you have to do, and the AIP client will be installed on your machine. Now, if you will launch any of the Office app, let's say Outlook or let's say Word, then you will get the label bar where all the labels which are a part of global policy will get added to your application, and you can actually click on any one of them and get them applied to your particular document. Now, there is one more thing which I would like to show you guys, and that is, as you can see, that the moment Word was launched, public was automatically added to this particular document, as well as if I click on new mail, you can see public is added by default. Now, the reason behind this is because the policy says that public should be the default label. Now, this was the experience once you have a global policy configured. Now, in order to check for logs related to AIP client, you can click on Protect, then click on Help and Feedback, and then click on Export Logs. The moment you will click on Export Logs, a compressed folder will be created that will have all the logs related to the policies getting applied or relating to the policies getting downloaded. Anything and everything that's moreover related to AIP will be generated in these logs that you can review as per your requirement. Or let's say you are expecting a behavior that's not working, or you designed a particular or you created a particular label that should get applied on a particular set of keywords, but it's not working as expected, then you can actually check Windows event logs. It will show you a lot more information, a lot more detail of why, if any particular label is not getting applied, is it not getting searched, or what kind of information. Anything and everything that's moreover related to AIP can be found in these logs. Now, the next thing which I would like to cover here, and that is the scoped policy, as well as one of the label settings that we have done in terms of keywords. So if you guys remember when we were creating AIP label, or the custom label, over there we have mentioned that if any document contains human resource or finance key as a keyword, it should be protected. That's the purpose of this particular label. And the best part is that it should be automatically labeled. This was the feature that we added. Now, this feature we added in AIP label, and this AIP label was added in our scoped policy. So now what I'm going to show you guys is how this feature works, and for that I'm going to switch to my machine where I have signed in with the user who is a part of scoped policy. And as you can see, I'm getting this particular label. Now the expected behavior is the moment I will type this keyword, or let's say this document already has some information and then I'm typing the keyword on behalf of which this document has to be protected. The moment I will save this particular document, it will get automatically protected. Let's save this as a protected document itself. And as you can see, AIP label has been automatically applied because there was a condition. The same process will happen if you will try to send an email. So now let's say I'm just typing anything in the subject, and again I'm typing the same keyword in my mail and I'm trying to send it, and let's see if this email is protected. And as you can see, it is showing me this message is protected because AIP label was applied. Now there is one more thing which I would like to show you from the protection perspective, and that is, if you guys remember, there was one more setting which we checked and I have showcased you as well, and that is this user prompt of selecting what kind of permission you want to give to which user account. Now, in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a permission to a user named as MFA, and I'm going to give a read-only permission to this particular user. And now I'm going to type that this document should only be accessed by mfa@conceptswork.com. And I'm going to send this document to the same user. Now there are two features which you will get to see. As you can see, the first one is the email to which this document was attached. It was also automatically labeled as confidential. Now, my agenda here is to show you that how the identity part works with uh, Azure Information Protection. You remember I have given a read-only permission to this document for MFA user. Now let's see what happens that if this document is sent to some other user instead of the user to which the permission was assigned. So I repeat it once again. As of now, this Word application is accessed by a user named as IDP who was creating a document for mfa@conceptswork.com. But let's say for some reason this document lands up to a user whose name is SSO. Now let's see what will be the user experience. So what I'll do is I'll switch to my machine where I have signed in with this third user named as SSO. So now I'm signed in to one of the browser where I have used the account SSO, and now I'm going to download this particular document which was sent to me by IDP. Now, since we know that this document is actually intended for the user account called MFA, let me see whether I will be able to access this particular document or not. And technically, we should get an authorization failure. Likewise, the account that you are using does not have the permission. And as you can see, I'm getting the same error. Now, what does this show? That you're not signed into Office within an account that has this permission. Whereas, as of now, I'm signed in with SSO, but this document was intended for MFA. This was one of the use case that wanted to show you guys so that it makes more sense for you to understand that it doesn't matter where the document is going. Once the protection is applied to the document, it will remain same. Now I'm going to switch to my machine again where I was signed in with a user which has scoped policy aligned so that I can show you guys how to track and revoke the documents. Now, in order to track and revoke documents, you can click on Protect and then click on Track and Revoke. You will redirect it to a portal which will be track.azurerms.com. Now, you can actually track documents from being a user as well as if you are admin, let's say global admin, then you can search for all the documents that exist for your tenant and then you can revoke them if required. So these are the two ways wherein you can track and revoke. The first one is user can revoke a document himself, but if for some reason he doesn't have the access or he doesn't know, then he can get in touch with the particular admin and they can get the documents revoked for a particular user. So now as you can see, I've signed in as user and I'm getting both the documents listed which I shared. Now the moment I will click on it, it will show me how many times it has been viewed, if there is any access which was denied or not. And then as a user, I can simply click on revoke access. I'll get one more acknowledgement over here. The moment I will click on confirm, the access to this document will be revoked. Now, from admin perspective, what you have to do is you have to go to this link, which is portal azurerms.com/admin. Then you can actually search for any user who tried creating protected document, or you can also search for document name. And once you have checked the proper document, or once you got the required result, you can just go ahead and select that particular document and then get it revoked. This is how it works. So as of now, you can see, though I signed in with admin, but now I can view the documents which were created by the user called IDP. So this was all about knowing how you can track and revoke documents. So in a nutshell, this was all about the capabilities that are moreover related to clients. Client is very simple. There is no configuration required. All you have to do is you have to install the client, then all the labels will be displayed. And then you have the track and revoke. A user can revoke documents as well as admins can revoke documents on user behalf. So let's talk about a quick summary of what all we have discussed. We have discussed in this video how to install the AIP client, what is global policy, how does the scope policy works, how to track and revoke documents. Now in the next video, we are going to start with unified labeling. Now, if you guys have learned something new, please feel free to subscribe. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.